You are a music mogul and known as one of the most knowledgeable and hard.
Did they actually ask that question?
This is verbatim, man.
All
Word
right.
for word.
I'm very impressed. I'll buy that.
And known as one of the most knowledgeable and hardworking men in the business, hence the creation of Renman Music and Business. Your experience and success speaks for itself, but when did you know / realize personally that you were ready to start actively sharing your ideas and advice with the world?
That's a good question. The idea had been brewing and percolating in my head for a long time. I've told the story that I was lucky to have some mentors early in my career and had a huge impact. And so I thought that it would be fun and to share some of my own experiences. I had a couple false starts over the years. Started a couple blogs. I had one blog called How the Fuck Are We Gonna Fix This Business.com. I did it for a while, posted basically webcam videos and the like, and then would get back working on Incubus, and it went away. But I started about a year and a half ago. I took the idea seriously and had some time. Incubus guys were all taking a little break, and decided to stop thinking about it and start doing it. And so we started with 24 videos. That grew into a web show where we did 87 web shows and brought a whole bunch of other people into the conversation. And now I think we have 425 plus videos on our YouTube channel.
When you first jumped into artist management, did you have someone or something you wanted to model your business after? Or did you just play it by ear and start by trial and error?
When I started as a manager the first time, I had actually been a concert promoter for years with a big company out here in Southern California called Avalon Attractions. And as part of my job, I was one of the concert bookers, and had become very prolific in doing that. And once you're out booking bands, you spend a lot of time talking to other managers, or certainly seeing other managers at work. And so there were some managers who I had great respect for. There was Paul McGuinness from U2 in the early days when they were just starting off. A gentleman by the name of Doc McGee, who's one of the legendary managers in the business. Tony Dimitriadis, who managed Tom Petty. So I certainly had an idea of what a great manager looked like and the decisions they make. So when I started off, I had a pretty good idea of what it took to be a great manager, and definitely had some folks that I had become friendly with professionally, whose approach I admired, who in some ways I might have emulated.
What has been the most surprising or most difficult thing about running your own business / website?
I think if I had to pick one thing that has been the single biggest surprise, it would be I underestimated hugely how much work it takes to do it right. And I underestimated severely how fattening and tasty these cheese rolls were.
You've obviously done an incredible job of staying on top of current trends, being flexible as the music industry changes, and shifting your focus as the world becomes more and more digital. How do you stay on top of your game? What types of resources do you turn to, or events do you attend to ensure that you're keeping up to date?
That's a great question. I stay up to speed mostly because I'm still in the music business. I have my friends in Incubus that are counting on me to stay up with what's going on in the business. So the way I stay up on things, it depends on exactly, but I read trades, I read the newspaper. I'm a big watcher of the news from all kinds of things, from politics to business and certainly to the music business. One of the ways that I've managed to stay up to speed on the trends and cool things that are happening in the music tech space was starting this website, RenmanMB.com, and in particular, starting our web show called Renman Live, where it's given me an opportunity to network with a whole bunch of new people, particularly in the music tech space. So many times we've featured a website or an application or some tool on our show that I found interesting from a manager's or an artist's perspective. And we featured him on the show, and then ultimately have wound up using some of those very same tools with regard to my own band.
It seems like you really enjoy doing your live web show. Do you have as much fun as it appears? And what's the craziest thing that's happened during taping thus far?
Yes, I do enjoy it, and if you asked that question, you probably picked up on the fact that I do enjoy doing it. It's a ton of fun. It's a lot of work, but in some ways I've kind of become a little bit of the rock star mentality where I enjoy the adrenaline and the feeling of doing the show live, and it's a ton of fun for me. I really do enjoy it. The strangest thing that happened, well, we've had a few strange things that happened, but one that comes to mind is we had a gentleman by the name of Derek Vincent Smith, who I pursued. He's a big EDM. He's Pretty Lights is who he is, and became a big fan of his music through my oldest son. And I think out of all the artist guests that we've had on the show, I was hell-bent to get Pretty Lights on the show. I wanted to get, I suppose, a piece of the EDM world, but in a strange way, he really is less EDM than he is producer and so forth. Anyway, we finally got Derek to the show. I had spoken to him ahead of the time before we did the interview, and we had shared some private moments. And anyway, as luck would have it, right before we get ready to start streaming, some internet weird digital thing happened and it didn't work. And I won't share with you all of the details, but while we were in that delay, my friend Mr. Smith found his way to some sour delight, and I'll just leave it at that.
What kind of feedback are you getting on RenmanMB so far, and how do you see it changing and growing over the next 5 to 10 years?
It's a great question. I think, at the risk of sounding, pompous and conceited, just about every bit of feedback that I've gotten through tweets and emails and comments that have been posted in various places has been overwhelmingly positive, and I'm gratified to hear that. And I think I understand why. It's because people are hungry for information about the business, and I think people that have spent any time doing it know that it's this weird, strange business where there is no checklist for success. And so when you're out there creating and you're putting yourself at risk and you're putting your thoughts and emotion on the line, you want to be successful. And I think the people that do it professionally understand that they have to understand the business and the mechanics of it. So I think the response has been amazingly positive. I think the challenge for us is this thing has turned from a hobby and something fun to do into something a bit bigger than that, where I've had to hire people and make the decision to pay them, and hire people to help doing the show and to present it in a professional way, whether it's buying equipment or so forth, is trying to figure out how to fund that in a way that allows me to continue to do it, but allows me to do it in a way that's professional and something that I'm comfortable with. And so we've started an Indiegogo campaign to ask our supporters to help us keep the show going. We've spent a lot of time over the summer trying to do some business development stuff, trying to find some partners that would license our content, partners that can help us get the word out to more folks that are interested in music. We've got some wonderful help from folks like the folks at Reverb Nation who've been helpful. Bandpage has been helpful. Lots of the websites that we've worked with and spotlighted on the program have been very supportive. But I think the big challenge for me is to find a way to keep delivering the knowledge, keep getting people to share their stories, and find a way to pay for it.